2014, look at consolidated fund services. That is interest payments and pensions. We were paying only 16.4% of ordinary revenue. As a percentage of ordinary revenue was going to consolidated fund services. Today, last financial year, it was at 50% of ordinary revenue. And this year we are going to spend 48.5%. That's the reality. But look at development budget, which is funded from our domestic taxes. 20.8% in 2013, it has come down to 9.2% today. Meaning now for us to develop as a country, we are largely depending on borrowing. We are not funding our budget, our development budget from our domestic revenue. And that is not healthy. Over-reliance on external financing for development of a country is dangerous. So we must do something to reverse this trend. You can see how it has been, the development budget going down, coming down to 8.8 last year. You can use the excuse of what happened last year, but the trend is not very different, even the previous year and this year. So we must reverse that trend. Something else, recurrent expenditure, no much change. You can see recurrent is not growing so much, although the county equitable share, that is going, the ordinary revenue that is going to counties is shrinking as a percentage. And as a party that stands for devolution, that is also something that should worry us. We were spending 20% in 2013, and are now spending less than 15% of ordinary revenue to support our county government. I hope I'm communicating. Yes. Then this just shows you the same thing that I've talked about. Trend of recurrent spending takes the lion's share of total expenditure. You can see the recurrent expenditure. You can claim that, well, the recurrent expenditure here was 18%. It is at 16% here. But development is not doing better. It's actually doing worse. 6.8, and you come to 3.4. So, and then the county equitable share is taking a percentage, and that is something that we need to look at. Again, this is a repeat of what I've talked about. I don't want to spend much time there. So I've just indicated what we may need to do. That one I don't want to bore you with. That's my work. I will come back to this slide 5.3. And the reforms. So this is the primary surplus. This is what we are doing at the Treasury with the primary surplus. What is primary surplus? Primary surplus is total revenue minus expenditure, excluding interest paid on loans. So you remove the interest that you pay on loans, the remaining expenditure you subtract from your revenue. That figure should be a surplus. That is when you can manage your debt. But we have been having deficits all through. You can claim that the deficit has been shrinking, but it has been there. But now you can see the policies that were put in place in 2025-26, we are going to have a primary surplus. If we maintain the fiscal discipline, we will have a primary surplus. This is the debt to GDP. You can see it has been rising steadily, very fast, to 68.7. Now is when it started coming down. I want to say something about this table, then I combine it with the next one. You can see this is debt maturity or redemption profile. Look at where we are. In fact, just allow me to quickly move there so that I can explain something. Sorry, I'll keep you, yeah, I'm there. So, you know we have different debts. If you want to manage debts, you have to first profile the debts and see the most expensive, and those are the ones you start with. Now, we have 4 categories of debts. We have the cheapest debts, which are called multilateral. Those are the cheapest. Then we have bilateral debts. Then we have international sovereign bond. And then we have commercial bank debts. This is only external debt. I've not discussed with you the domestic debt. Now, this is maturity. These are debts that we must pay in these years. You can see for this year, we will pay a total of 2.64 billion US dollars. The following year, it is 22.24 billion, then 2.906, then 2.525, then 3.328, and like that. Now, this year, if I can put a ceiling here, 2030, 2031, and 2027, 28, there is something that happened here. The COVID. This is COVID period loans. We took loan here, especially from the multilaterals. And those loans were short-term loans, but they were soft loans with no interest, but they are now coming for maturity. They have to be paid. So this is what is happening here. Whoever will lead this country around this time must be aware of this challenge, including ODM. You must be aware of this challenge. Now, here, so multilaterals this year, this financial year, we are paying $609 million. Bilateral, we are paying 871. International sovereign bond, 107. Commercial bank, we are paying 1 billion. In terms of shillings, this year, we are paying 343 billion. That is this figure here. But I am happy for 2 things, which we have done since I went into office. Number 1, if you look at this international sovereign bond of 107, it would have been 300 if we did not manage that liability by spreading it out. So we reduced that. But we targeted commercial debts because they are the most expensive. And I will now maybe move to the next slide. This is just a repeat of that. This is the slide that I want to explain in debt. If you look at the commercial bank, you can see the figures are coming to 1,053 million US dollars for this year. The biggest is Trade and Development Bank, TDB, 748. We had an option to refinance that loan, get money again from them and refinance. But we said no. Why? Because the interest rate on this loan is 11%. And it can go up depending on the interest rates in the US, the Fed interest rates, because it is pegged on that. So we made a decision this month, and we have paid 600 million of this. We have already paid. We are only remaining with 148. And the moment we are done with this, you can see the payment. The moment we are done with this commercial loan, the moment we are done with it, we are reducing our pressure significantly. Number 2, we have managed the liability here. You can see how much we are paying on you. This is the Eurobond, if you like. This one. You can see in 2028, 2027, 28, 2028 May, we have to pay $1,000 of Eurobond. And then the following year, 500. So what we are doing right now is because the bond yields have come down in the market, and the Kenyan rating has gone up. The yield have come down from over 10% to 8.5. We have decided to liability manage this amount. We are liability managing it at least to 50%. It's still in the market. I don't want to talk about the figures. Lastly, bilateral. Look at the bilateral. Where do you see big figures? China. Out of the 871, China is 515. Redemption. The maturing debt, 515. The next one is US, 123. In fact, US, we are almost clearing with them. After paying their debt for this year, we are done. Now for China, the 515, we have managed to work on a program of conversion. We are working with them on conversion of that debt, and it's working very well. I want to leave it there. It's working very well and saving us close to 28 billion shillings per year. So, in summary, we have a strategy to manage public debt. Our relationship with the IMF, we are starting or getting into another program soon, which now we are going to negotiate, and the conditions we are going to discuss with them so that those conditions are not harmful to the general public, because again, it would be counterproductive. Moody's rating, Fitch rating, S&P, we have gone up in the rating, and that is because, simple, 1, diaspora remittances have been healthy. 3, our exports have been going up. 2, number 3 is the liability management. And you saw in the S&P rating, they said very clearly that our successful liability management for early this year worked well for Kenya. And that has received a better rating. Now, in conclusion, allow me to just say a few things. As we do all this, for us to be able to manage our debt, public debt very well, there are a few options for financing budget. Option number 1 is raise taxes. That option is not now available for us. We can only improve efficiency of KRA, but we can't raise taxes. Number 2, debt, borrow. That option is also not available. The third option is go for non-debt revenue. Non-debt revenue here, we are going for privatization. The good thing with privatization is that it does not take money away from private sector as taxes would do. Instead, it makes the private sector vibrant. I know people have talked about Kenya Pipeline, that if we sell 65%, we have been getting a lot of revenue from pipeline. We are getting about 3 billion. If you privatize it, the profit of KPC may even triple. May even triple. If you look at the expenditure, that KPC incurs, they are making revenue of 30 billion, but with only interest of about 4-5 billion. The rest is expenditure. That can be reduced and you make more profit. So even with 35%, you can still get 3 billion or even more. But again, you will have got money, you will have received money, which money would help you support your budget and will help you run your program. So I would request you that privatization, and there is a bill, I will come before Parliament and defend that privatization bill. It is good. It's a good bill. I will discuss it with you. The other one is securitization. I don't have time to discuss that. It's also an option for us. It is selling asset. It is not taking fresh loan. Finally, on reforms, Treasury single account is very important because at the moment, people request for money. Then they go and create, you request for 100 million to pay for various services. Then you put it in the current account and use it as you wish. In the process, you find some requisitions are made to pay our party leader, for example, his business, if he supplies or he does business with government. But that money ends up with Junet. Treasury single account, the system we are bringing, if you requisition the invoice, you will pay only the invoice requisitioned. And that one we have already implemented. It's going to take effect. On the controversial one, e-procurement. I don't know what was said here before I came, and that is where I'm going to end, Baba. On e-procurement, without pretending, we all know what is happening in this country. If you don't know who knows who, you can't get business in government. It is difficult because of manipulation. You complete your tender documents very well, you present them, tender is opened, then later on, you realize someone, because you have quoted low, and I want Governor Gladys Wanga to win the tender, what I do is just to plug the documents of Millie. I plug tax compliance, take it away, and you lose it. So what we are saying is have the budget uploaded in the e-procurement platform. Then, annual procurement plan is also uploaded there. And many, forget about the noise outside, many procuring entities have already uploaded their annual procurement plan. It will surprise you that today, if you use your phone, you can access annual procurement plan of State House. Something that had never happened before. No one knew what is being bought at State House or anything. After that, with the procurement plan, advertisement will be done in the system. So anybody can see. I've heard people saying, but people who are working in remote areas, what of presently? How are they knowing that there is an advertisement somewhere? Those challenges can be dealt with, but let us onboard this system. Then, once you supply documents online, everybody will see. Evaluation will also be done online, and they will be seen. And as I conclude, the most interesting part of this system is that even payment, ile maneno ya kusema that you had already done business with government, lakini hujalipwa, will be reduced to minimum. Because no one will allow anything that was not in the annual procurement plan to be paid for. So payment is also going to be integrated with the procurement system. And then we have a working system. Every system will have challenges. So we will be dealing with those challenges as they come, including the challenges of NG-CDF, which probably you want local people to get business. It is true. We have factored in that in the system. A percentage must go to locals. We have factored in persons living with a disability, women and children. If your budget does not have 30% reserved for that, it will not be accepted in the system. So all those have been taken care of. And the other challenges have been told to implement it gradually. We will discuss some of those challenges. But by the end of the day, a system like this, if you allow people to decide when to implement it, you will never implement it. Otherwise, colleagues, thank you very much for giving me opportunity to make this presentation. I want to tell you that as you sent us into this government, we are doing something. Or at least I know at the Treasury, we are putting efforts to make sure that things are better. You remember, this is the first time, Junet, allow me to say this. Because, you see, my concern is that if you send your experts to government and something positive comes out, you should be the first one to say it. Isn't it? If for the first time since 2013, we have transferred all the money to the counties, all the share of revenue, it's something. It's positive. It is supporting devolution. That is what we have been fighting for. NG-CDF, we transferred all the money, including arrears, to the constituencies. And Baba, I have provided for 58.8 billion to the NG-CDF for this year again. And we will start releasing the money from October. Every month, we will be doing 7 billion. I can see you are telling me not to tell Baba that. Baba, I just want to tell you that Personally, I still support NG-CDF. I know you have a different position on that, but as your expert, I must report that I support that NG-CDF. Thank you very much.